Prince William didn't just skip a meeting. Prince William made a statement so loud it echoed through every locked door of Highgrove. And what happened inside that house with King Charles, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie, and Lilibet is now raising one terrifying question. Was this reconciliation or the beginning of something far more dangerous?
Prince Harry. Let's give him a round of applause. At last, he has taken his children to see their granddad.
Does this put us in a situation where there is a constitutional crisis?
This has been an extraordinarily disastrous week.
Because for years we heard that the obstacle that was standing between Harry, Meghan, and these children was the UK thing around security. It just wasn't going to be safe. What changed?
There isn't a laundry in the cosmos big enough to wash all the dirty linen he has aired about his own family. For him to complain about his privacy being invaded takes not just the biscuit, but the whole tin.
Prince William did not go to Highgrove. Let that sit there. Prince William stayed away while Prince Harry walked straight into King Charles's private world, with Meghan Markle beside him, with Archie and Lilibet in tow, crossing a threshold that has been closed for years. This wasn't a casual family visit. This wasn't coincidence. This was calculated. Because after everything, after Oprah, after Netflix, after Spare ripped the family open and left nothing untouched, King Charles still opened that door. And not quietly, not accidentally, deliberately. 6 years of distance, 6 years of silence sharpened into statements, 6 years of wounds that were never cleaned, never healed, just dressed up for public consumption. And suddenly one afternoon changes everything? Or does it expose everything?
To assess it calmly. And this is going to be my view. So I'm not saying that anyone else is right or wrong, but this is personally how I feel about this entire situation. King Charles is a grandfather who, despite everything that's happened, knows that his grandchildren are completely innocent in all of their parents' actions, and he wants to meet them. I've met a few people in my lifetime that have had to put up with certain people that have married into their family, for example, or even a family member, because they want to see the rest of the family if there's children involved. I've seen this happen where grandparents have to put up with a daughter or son's spouse because they know that if they say anything, they will not get to see their grandchildren. I believe that King Charles is 77 years old, that he has cancer, and it seems that it's not the curable kind, and he was the one that finally facilitated having this meet-up with them. Now, are Harry and Meghan doing it for good reasons, for pure of heart reasons? Highly unlikely. Are Harry and Meghan finally putting their children first and putting the king's feelings first? Again, highly unlikely. Do I think that Harry and Meghan have suddenly had a change of heart and they've stopped all their conniving and plotting? Does a leopard change its spots? Again, highly unlikely.
No photos, no proof, no smiling faces released to calm the storm. Just 4 words, private family occasion, and somehow those 4 words are louder than any official portrait ever could be. Because inside that house, something happened that the palace cannot package neatly. King Charles sat across from Prince Harry, the same Prince Harry who wrote hundreds of pages dismantling the monarchy piece by piece. King Charles looked at Meghan Markle, the same Meghan Markle who accused the institution of something it can never fully escape. And then there were Archie and Lilibet children who have grown up almost entirely outside the reach of royal life, standing in the middle of a reunion that feels less like healing and more like a collision. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. King Charles wanted this. Reports don't whisper it, they repeat it. King Charles pushed for this. King Charles cleared space, softened positions, even shifted on security battles that have been raging like a quiet war. A king dealing with cancer. A king who knows time is no longer something he can waste. And still, he chose this moment. He chose Prince Harry. He chose Meghan Markle. He chose to bring them back in, even if only for a few hours. Brave, reckless, or something else entirely?
From William and Catherine, and to get some insight into the work of the real royals. But what I think is so interesting is that William was playing polo when news came out that Harry, Meghan, and the children met with the king and the queen at Highgrove. So everyone is asking the same question. What changed? Because for years we heard that the obstacle that was standing between Harry, Meghan, and these children was the UK thing around security. It just wasn't going to be safe. And Harry said that he could not bring his family back without the protection that he actually felt was necessary. But now I want you to imagine this. So if Meghan and Harry and these children are able to come back, and if they're able to walk through those palace doors and then sit down privately with the king and queen, because at first I heard that the queen was not going to see Harry, but now we're hearing that the queen was there as well. And many people are actually going to ask, was security really the only thing that was keeping the family apart? Was that really truly the issue?
Now watch what happens on the other side of this story. Because while King Charles is opening doors, Prince William is closing them. Reports say Prince William isn't just upset, Prince William is furious. The kind of fury that doesn't explode publicly but freezes everything around it. Sources say Prince William sees this not as reconciliation but as betrayal. His worst fear unfolding in real time. King Charles welcoming back the very people Prince William has spent years refusing to even stand beside. And then comes the word that changes everything: petulant, allegedly used by King Charles to describe Prince William.
Or was there something much deeper that was happening? And this is where King Charles finds himself in an almost impossible position. He really does. But I have a counter to that. But here is the situation, because there is Charles. He is a father, okay? But he is also the king. He is also the king. And the father side of all of this looks at Harry, his son, and he's like, okay, I need to see my son. He's thinking, okay, I've done some things, and Harry has given his dad a hard time about a lot of things around the marriage of Diana and Charles. And so there is this guilt that Charles, I think, feels with Harry, that he tries to, I think, play into Harry's woes, okay? And now we have Harry with his children, and then there is this desire for, I think, the king to want to feed into this relationship to help repair it, because Harry, I believe, has put a big guilt trip on his father. But then you have the public who are looking at this and saying, well, we remember all of the interviews. We remember all of the accusations. I wrote a song, do you remember? Okay? We remember the books, because I want people to remember, right? The documentaries, the Oprah interview. We can't forget that also Meghan accused the king and Catherine of being the royal racist. And we saw how sneaky they said it vicariously through that book Endgame with the Omid guy, okay, the Scooby-Doo guy, okay? So you ain't slick, Meghan. So we know that the king has been pushed under a bus, and it's been by Meghan. But what is also interesting is that Meghan, they are saying she's the one that leaked the meeting of the king with Harry and Meghan and the children.
Let that sink in. A king describing his future heir in a way that feels less like leadership and more like frustration boiling over. That single word cracks something open. Because now this isn't just about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle anymore. This is father versus son, king versus future king. Look closer, because the silence is telling you more than any statement ever could. On one side, Highgrove, hidden, private, controlled. On the other side, Prince William in public at a polo match, cameras rolling, doing exactly what is expected of him. Showing up, playing the role, maintaining the image. And somehow that contrast feels intentional, almost staged. Two brothers, two choices, two completely different messages.
So a lot of people are really asking, where is the accountability before the reunion? We know that Harry wanted an apology before coming back. Like, there's all these things that they said, his security. So we can see that things have been pushed to the side so that there can be a reunion. But then I ask this question, what about Thomas Markle Sr.? You're so quick to reunite with the king, who you called a racist, Meghan Markle, but you won't even go see your own father, considering what has happened to him and his leg being amputated. So we know there's an underlying reason why Meghan has agreed to do this. I know that Harry is doing this because it's very emotional for him to have his father see the children. But there is a big overarching problem that they will never be able to resolve, and I'm going to tell you that here in a second. But this is the difficult part with King Charles, because Forgiveness is personal, and a father, he can forgive his son overnight rather quickly. This institution should have never given the leeway to Meghan. I think Meghan should have had to have apologized before the king met with her. He can meet with the kids, but that woman should have stayed her butt on the outside, considering what she has done. But we don't know. Maybe she did apologize privately. Okay, but the fact is the monarchy can only survive because of the relationship that it has with its people. This is between the crown and the people. And a lot of people within the public feel, hold up, wait a minute. We defended the monarchy through all of this. And now everyone just walks right back in the front door like nothing ever happened.
And then the detail that makes everything heavier this was the first time King Charles has truly seen Archie and Lilibet in years. Not through a screen, not through carefully timed calls. In person. Archie is no longer a toddler. Lilibet is no longer a baby. Entire childhood moments have passed without their grandfather there. And now, suddenly, they're back. But why now? Because timing here is never innocent. Prince Harry arrives in Britain for Invictus Games commitments and almost immediately walks into a legal defeat. A case dismissed. Pressure building. Questions about finances starting to whisper louder. And then just days later, this reunion appears. Meghan Markle, Archie, Lilibet, all at Highgrove. After years of distance, after years of refusal. Is this family reaching for each other or something reaching for relevance? And here's the part nobody can fully explain. The reunion almost didn't happen. For days, everything hung by a thread. Security disputes, conflicting reports, plans collapsing, then suddenly reappearing. As if one final decision, one final call flipped everything at the last possible moment. That doesn't feel smooth. That feels forced. That feels negotiated. That feels like something that had to happen, no matter the cost. And if that's true, then what exactly was agreed behind those closed doors? Because whatever happened inside Highgrove wasn't just about the past. It was about the future. And Prince William knows it. The question is, what does Prince William do next? And just when this story starts to look like reconciliation, another crack appears and it's impossible to ignore. Because while King Charles opens the door for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle,
William is not just thinking about his brother, he is preparing for the future of the monarchy. And I think it was intentional that William would not be around when Harry and Meghan came. He's off playing polo, as we saw. And we can also see that William, he can start to rebuild on a new kind of a monarchy, understanding that things are going to change substantially when the king passes. So how do you rebuild trust without first addressing why everything is broken? How does that even happen? And I think the biggest question is not whether Charles loves Harry. Of course, the father is going to love his son despite him acting like a wackadoodle. But the bigger question really is, can the king repair his family despite what they did to him? And also request that Meghan also repairs things with her father. So the bigger question becomes, can the king repair his family without making the public feel like the loyalty that they have has been forgotten, or that the loyalty that the king has for the public has been forgotten? Because Harry may want reconciliation, and I believe that Charles really does want peace. There's a lot going on, but the public may still be waiting for one thing. And that accountability does not extend just to the royal family. It extends to the things that Meghan has done to the public, the UK public, that she called racist. She called her wedding a spectacle. She's done things to the public. Like, when you look at accountability, like, where's the accountability for Meghan and what she has done with the birth of Archie? She didn't have to be accountable for proving anything. Where's Meghan's accountability to the public, the people that the king reigns over?
Questions about accountability explode louder than ever. Meghan Markle is standing inside Highgrove, welcomed into the same space as King Charles, while Thomas Markle Sr. remains completely outside Meghan Markle's world. That contrast doesn't sit quietly, it burns. It forces a question that nobody inside that house could fully answer. Why is forgiveness flowing in one direction and completely blocked in another? Prince Harry is there, emotional, bringing Archie and Lilibet to meet King Charles, Charles, and that part feels real, almost painfully real. But Meghan Markle's presence carries a different weight, because this isn't just a family reunion, it's a public narrative colliding with private decisions. And the public hasn't forgotten. The public heard everything. The public defended the institution. And now Meghan Markle walks back through the front door like nothing ever happened? Or did something happen behind the scenes that nobody is being told? Because silence here feels strategic. And then another detail surfaces quiet, almost hidden, but impossible to ignore once you see it. Prince Harry didn't just come to Britain. Prince Harry stayed near Althorpe, Diana's resting place, the one location tied to everything Prince Harry lost, everything Prince Harry never fully healed from. Archie and Lilibet, walking distance from their grandmother's grave. That's not random. That's not coincidence. That's emotional positioning at its most powerful, maybe even its most calculated. Now shift the focus again, because while King Charles is reaching backward trying to repair, trying to reconnect, Prince William is looking forward, and Prince William's silence is louder than anything King Charles said. Prince William didn't show up. Prince William didn't endorse this. Prince William didn't participate. And that absence, it feels intentional, strategic, almost like Prince William is drawing a line that King Charles refuses to see. Because Prince William isn't reacting as a brother anymore. Prince William is thinking as the future king. And from that position, this reunion doesn't look like healing, it looks like risk. Trust broken publicly. Trust shattered repeatedly. And suddenly, King Charles invites Prince Harry and Meghan Markle back in without visible consequences. That's not reconciliation to Prince William. That's exposure. And here's where it gets even more complicated, because behind all the distance, behind all the anger, Prince William hasn't completely let go. Reports suggest Prince William still supports security measures protecting Prince Harry while Prince Harry is in Britain. Let that contradiction sit there. Prince William refuses to be in the same room as Prince Harry, yet still ensures Prince Harry is safe. That's not hate. That's something colder. That's broken trust that refuses to heal. Meanwhile, King Charles is moving in the opposite direction, fast, emotional, urgent. King Charles is trying to repair something before time runs out. And that urgency changes everything, because urgency doesn't always create clarity. Sometimes urgency creates mistakes. And critics are already whispering it was this reunion a necessary step forward or a dangerous miscalculation, because there's another layer nobody is fully saying out loud. The monarchy doesn't survive on private forgiveness alone. The monarchy survives on public trust. And right now, that trust feels unstable, because if Meghan Markle returns without visible accountability, if Prince Harry re-enters the narrative without resolution, what message does that send? That everything said, everything done simply resets? Or worse, that it never mattered? And still, inside Kensington Palace, another silent struggle is unfolding. Kate is reportedly trying again and again to hold something together that keeps slipping apart, between Prince William and King Charles, between past loyalty and present decisions, between a family that looks united from a distance but feels fractured up close. And that effort, it's invisible. It doesn't get headlines, but it might be the only thing preventing this entire situation from collapsing completely. Because make no mistake, this isn't finished. Two brothers, one king, one future king, one reunion that changes nothing or everything. King Charles opened a door. Prince William refused to walk through it. Prince Harry stepped inside. Meghan Markle followed. Archie and Lilibet stood in the middle of it all. And now the real question begins: what happens next when that door closes again? Because if trust wasn't rebuilt inside Highgrove, then something else was.